had one fooler tonight. Let's see if our next magician can surprise us too.
I guess I've always been a doodler. Whenever I'm stressed, I basically let my hand move around on the paper until there's one giant mess, and then I consciously fill in the scribble to a point where I just look at it and I'm like, yeah, that's done. I like it. I have the same type of process when it comes to magic. I take a bunch of different methods that might not go together, and I combine them with objects that wouldn't normally go together, so you have this abstract sort of mess. But then I sort of refine it until I have an actual magic trick that I've made. My imagination runs wild, but sometimes it's fun to let other people's imagination take the lead. Penn, Teller, and I think you'll be amazed.
Here with two randomly selected members of our studio audience, give it up for Dreygon.
You know, with a name like Dreygon, I really only had two options in life. One, I could die an early death in Game of Thrones, or two, I could become a magician. Obviously, I chose option two. Now, my favorite magic involves imagination. For example, a drawing of an envelope. Doesn't seem that magical, but if all of you use your imagination, you make it become real. And to me, that is magic. Thank you, guys. What was your name?
Max.
Max, and what was your name?
Abigail.
Abigail. Today we're going to be testing Max and Abigail's imaginations. To begin with, we're going to start by showing each of them a series of images and asking them what they see. No pressure, Max, but you're up first. What do you see here?
A rectangle.
A rectangle. I love the way your brain works. We'll add a little bit more detail to this. Abigail, now's your time to shine. What do you see here?
A rectangular box.
A rectangular box, very specific. But I could shade this in and give it more depth so you know what it really is, or I could just do this. Max, do you have any idea what this could possibly be?
Might be a card box.
Oh, maybe. Well, you're exactly right. Look.
Whoa.
Obviously, a card box isn't complete without a deck of cards. Did amazing, Max. Wow. Now, I do want to take this one step further by using an image known as an ink blot test. For those of you who haven't seen an ink blot before, basically different people with different personalities see different things when they look at them. For example, Abigail, what do you see when you look at this?
I see a butterfly.
A butterfly, really? You don't see a scary clown holding a machete? No, that's just me? All right, well, let's keep this moving then. Abigail, can you imagine that the butterfly you see could just... maybe if you concentrate hard enough, maybe you could... You can make it fly. Wow. So far, you guys have shown just how powerful your imaginations are. You know, you produced a box of cards, a butterfly. Wow. Now it's my time to shine. I'm going to show off by using an imaginary prediction. Ooh. In order to make an imaginary prediction, all you need are a couple slips of paper and an imaginary pen. So this will be my first imaginary prediction, right there. And this will be my second. Now, before we open those, I want to show you guys my version of an ink blot. In fact, Max, Abigail, can you guys face the audience so you don't see this just yet? Thank you, thank you. I call this a doodle blot because it's a bunch of scribbly lines that Max and Abigail are gonna look into until they see one clear image in the chaos of the lines. So Abigail, I'm gonna have you go first. Obviously you see the scribbles, but I want you to look within them and think of one clear image that you can make out. Do you have one?
Yes.
Perfect, don't forget it, and you can face forward. All right. Now, Max, I'm gonna have you look at this in landscape mode as opposed to portrait mode. Hopefully with a different perspective, you'll see something completely different. Okay, so look within the lines, think of one image you can make out. You got one? Mm-hmm. Perfect, don't forget it. All right, and you can face forward. Now think about it. Two people looked at the same scribbles and thought of an image. Maybe they thought of the same image, or maybe two different images. I don't know. So let's find out. You guys can face me. Abigail, we'll start with you. What image did you go for?
I went for an apple.
An apple, really? Did you go for an apple?
I didn't go for an apple.
What'd you go for?
I went for a tree.
A tree. An apple tree. You remember my imaginary predictions? Here, Max, Abigail, can you guys hold your hands out flat like a table? And just hold on to your paper. Hold on to your paper. And on the count of 3, I want you to open the paper flat like a book.
Okay.
Yeah, just put your thumb there. Perfect. All right. You guys can face forward. An apple and a tree. 3, 2, 1. Max, open your paper. That's a tree. Abigail, open yours. That's an apple. That's amazing. Thank you guys so much.
Dreygon, everyone. Wow. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
I don't think we've ever seen anything quite like that on the show.
Well, that's a huge compliment to me. I mean, everything in that is sort of like different art pieces that I've made. I think of them less as magic and more as like art projects.
Have you always had a wild imagination? Like, tell me about yourself as a young boy.
It's so funny because like growing up as a magician, like going through elementary school, middle school, high school, all the other kids, like if a teacher catches them on their phone or like with their earbuds in, they confiscate them. Instead of having my phone, I'd have like decks of cards, like magic tricks. So like the teacher's drawer is like, what? Who's in this class?
And would that get you into trouble?
Yeah, they weren't a big fan of the magic.
Okay, Dreygon, let's go to the boys and see if they have a trophy for you.
All right.
Dreygon, it's a great act, and it brings up something. Well, first I want to ask you this. That's your trick, right?
Yeah,
all of it?
Everything there.
Everything's yours. You know, a lot of people think that magic is thinking and practicing, and it's certainly that, but also many magicians, and I think you're one of the best cases we had of it, build everything yourself, right? You created it and built it, and the craftsmanship is really phenomenal.
Thank you.
Magic is one of the art forms where that's a real important part of it. In music, you don't have many people building their own instruments, but you're building your own props here. And that idea of drawing something two-dimensional, having it appear three-dimensional, is something that has grabbed the imagination of many people for years, and no one's done it better than you. It's just really, really beautiful. And some of the techniques you used are things that we've used ourselves. Of course, we made other people build them. You did such a fabulous job. All those appearances were so attractive. They just held together beautifully. You know, you actually said people see different things in a Rorschach test.
Yeah, yeah.
And they do. They really do. And we just loved the whole routine. And besides being a stunningly good performer and having practiced so much, people need to give you credit for also being a wonderful craftsperson.
Oh, thank you.
And I think I snuck a few things in there, but we'll see.
Do those code words mean anything to you? Because they sure don't to me.
It lets me know that they know what they're talking about, yeah.
You didn't fool them, but you sure entertained us. Thank you so much.